Hi, this is Enthusiastic Steve and welcome to the Great FM microphone test. These microphones can be used on the 11 meter band, but there's nothing stopping you using them on the amateur bands as well. The FM mode is used extensively now across the CB bands, both here in the UK and more recently in the US of A. It was the world-renowned company Cobra that filed a petition around 5 years ago, requesting that the USA radio regulatory body, the FCC, consider the addition of the FM mode to the existing 40-channel CB lineup. Then, in July 2021, the Federal Communications Commission approved the changes. USA FM became a thing. This made front-page news across the world and on their CB magazines. This was a big decision in the American CB market. This was the first big change since the 1970s, when they changed from 23 channels up to 40. FM was requested as it reduces the signal-to-noise ratio of a signal compared to the current AM mode predominantly used in the US of A. A better signal-to-noise ratio will improve the audio quality of your transmission. This could be even more important as we go into the peak of the current solar cycle, and AM and sideband signals from afar could interfere with the shorter range signals of local CB operators. Using FM mode will help to sustain the local traffic. AM mode is the default and will remain the default mode in the US of A, so super bowlers, don't worry, you can still boom out your kilowatt transmissions all across the pond on channel 6.
He couldn't keep his hands off of Mickey Mouse's backside. But he said he was sorry. He said he would try not to let that happen again. 410.
Here in the UK, we've had FM since November 1981. This is when our radio authorising authority, Ofcom, legalised CB radio. Previous to 1981, tens of thousands of CB users were already using illegally imported CB radios. The majority of these were AM and sideband CBs. The Ofcom authority and our government were not happy. CB radio users held massive rallies across the UK, including one of the largest in the UK capital, London, centred in Trafalgar Square. The UK authorities eventually gave in, but to ensure we didn't continue using our illegal CBs, they changed the frequency allocation to the upper end of 27 MHz, making our band structure unique. So what is this AM and FM modes? Well, AM is just an abbreviation of amplitude modulated, whereas FM is frequency modulated. When information, such as your voice, is added to a signal or carrier wave, in AM mode you increase or decrease the amplitude, whereas in FM mode the amplitude stays the same, but the actual frequency changes. AM and FM. Using an amplified or powered microphone on the AM mode will actually increase your amplitude of the signal, making it sound louder. On FM, it's not quite the case. What you're looking for really is a clarity. FM is nice and clear, looking for tones and a depth of voice. So let's get some handheld microphones and test them on the FM mode on CB. So what microphones are we testing? The classic, the standard coffin microphone. The Telecom EMD 1000 powered microphone with echo. A stylish Superstar Sharpshooter pistol powered microphone, Chrome edition. And finally their static D104 46 Bravo, the world famous Radio Mics powered microphone. So let's take a quick look at each microphone and then use them on the FM mode. A simple standard CB microphone, the coffin design. It's been around for many years, made of plastic, fairly lightweight, holds firmly in the hand. On the rear we've got the moulded microphone holder to slip into a microphone clip, and 3 screws which holds the back on. If you gently remove these with a screwdriver, then lift off the rear, you will reveal the internals there. Quite simple in design, a little tiny switch, plastic lever arm and the microphone insert at the top there. This microphone is not powered, so no battery. The next microphone up for test is the Telecom EMD 1000 amplified or powered microphone with echo adjustment. This microphone, again, is like plastic construction. It's much squarer than the actual coffin microphone, so a little bit more chunky in the hand, and it's got a little bit more weight because it's actually got a battery inside as well. The amplification level is preset, but you can adjust the echo from nothing to full-on effect, which you'll hear a little bit later. To gain access to the battery or the internals, there is no screws on this one, just a little plastic screw thread on the actual microphone holder. Loosen this anti-clockwise and remove the cover. Internally, you'll see the standard 9-volt battery, which is replaceable. It's not a rechargeable one, and a very well made PCB board, very good quality. Next up is the Superstar Sharp Shooter microphone. Very hard to say that. It's a pistol grip type microphone and is amplified. The first thing you notice when you pick this microphone up is its weight. It is chunky. It's metal construction. This one's got a nice chrome finish. Lovely, lovely bit of kit. In this image you can see the PTT button, which is at the very top by my thumb. Again, made of metal. You've got the on the rear there, you've got the holder for the CB mic clip, and there's a little black button down one side. Now that is the adjuster. That's the adjuster for the amplification. And once you've adjusted, you can remove that and take it out of the way. On the opposite side, you have the 3 screws you remove to gain access to the internals and the battery. You can see the quality finish on this microphone. It is very well constructed. Once the screws are out, remove the cover and it reveals the internals. As you can see, the microphone insert is brass, very well constructed. Nice little PCB board there, all tightly compact, a decent switch, and the battery. Now, one thing to note with the battery is it's not a standard size battery. They're available, but it's not your standard 9-volt or 1.5 volt. It's a 6-volt battery, commonly used inside cameras. The final microphone on test today is the Static D104 Mic 6 Bravo. Now, the Static have been around many, many years, and they have made some fantastic microphones. They used to do the lollipop design stand-up microphone, and this D104 handheld is based on that microphone. Again, it's a square design, but it's chunky, it's got weight, it's slightly wide. You've got to get used to it holding it in your hand. When you first pick it up, it feels a little bit uncomfy, but after a while, it fits really, really well. On the rear, you have a metal microphone holder, little button there, and on the lower right-hand side, you've got numbers 1 to 9. That is the adjustment switch for the amplification. You adjust this to suit your own output. Again, access to the internals is by 4 metal screws. Removing the cover reveals the little PCB and the switch and the adjuster and a standard 9-volt battery. Just be careful when you change this 9-volt battery because it actually plugs straight into a little circuit board. You could damage it if you're a little bit heavy-handed. And finally, to note, on reassembly of this microphone, be careful. There are 2 different size screws. The longer ones go at the top, the short ones to the bottom. Right, let's get these microphones tested. I achieved this by plugging them into my U.K C.B radio and connected that to a dummy load, transmitted it and recorded it on an SDR. So the first microphone on test is the standard coffin microphone. Coffin shaped, that's why it's named the coffin. Hasn't got any battery in it, it's just purely on your voice. So let's give it a go. Charlie Tango 2064, or going back to my olden day roots, I was known as Bigfoot. So Bigfoot calling CQ, testing this coffin microphone, standard microphone. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Let's see how that sounds. Standard coffin microphone.
Charlie Tango 2064, or going back to my olden day roots, I was known as Bigfoot. So Bigfoot calling CQ, testing this coffin microphone, standard microphone. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Let's see how that sounds.
Right, we've moved on to the Telecom EMD 1000. Now this one does have a battery in it. It's an amplified microphone. It also has an echo adjustment, which you can turn off by the slider. So the slider all the way back is just a powered amplified microphone, and it sounds like this. Giving that the old call sign of Bigfoot, talking across the microphone. This is Bigfoot, calling CQ. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Now let's just try that with a little bit of echo, just to boost the tone up a little bit. See what it sounds like. 1 2 1 2 3 4 with a little bit of echo. And if you go completely over the top, it sounds awful, but some people like it. It sounds like this. 1 2 3 4. There you go. I think that sounds like with a tin can. It's a bit echoey. In actual fact, it does sound not too bad with just a fraction of echo, just to give a little bit of reverb on the old voice, like this. Testing, calling CQ. Just gives that a little bit of edge. Telecom EMD 1000.
Giving out the old call sign of Bigfoot, talking across the microphone. This is Bigfoot calling CQ. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. 1 2 1 2 3 4 with a little bit of echo. And if you go a little over the top, it sounds awful, but some people like it. It sounds like this. 1 2 3 4.
Now, this is a little bit of an odd one to me. These were around in the early 80s, late 70s. They've been kind of re-released, and they can't go by the brand of Superstar, and it's a Superstar sharp shooter. As I look over the top of my glasses, I'll tell you what, it's got some weight to it. That's a heavy microphone, metal case, metal components. It is solid. I can feel the weight. Now, what's it going to be like for long-term use? I don't know. It's got a lovely chrome finish. You can get them in a black finish or gold finish, but the gold ones are quite rare. It has a trigger grip on one end there. This is actually a PTT. It's got a microphone holder there. The talkie piece is there in the top of the microphone. And you've got an adjuster there where you can basically turn up the amplification. You can actually remove that little plastic control. It's a little bit flimsy. And they do recommend that once you've got it adjusted as you want it, you remove it, just pull it out and put it to one side. You can still adjust it with a small screwdriver if you don't have that in there. But it's the weight. It's a lovely, it just feels good in your hand. So we give this a go. 1 2 1 2 3 4. This is Bigfoot. Calling CQ. Testing. Across the microphone. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1.
1 2 1 2 3 4. This is Bigfoot. Calling CQ. Testing across the microphone. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1.
Right, the final microphone I want to demonstrate and show you is the Static D104. The most expensive one here on test. Here in the UK, it's over £50 UK currently. You can probably shop around and get one a little bit cheaper. But Static, famous brand of microphone manufacturers. They do noise cancelling ones. This is an amplified one. There's an adjuster on the back. You can turn up or turn down the amplification. It's based on the world famous Static bass microphone that used to stand up on a pedestal. Very similar with the chrome on the top there, but it's on an actual pedestal. A bit like an old reminiscent vintage telephone or a lollipop. It's got the same type of internals. It's meant to produce a very good sound. So let's give it a go. Testing 1 2 1 2 3 4 using their Static microphone. Testing 1 2 A B C D. Test complete. And again, you can fine tune the. I've got it set on number 6 at the moment. It goes from 1 to 9 or 1 to 10 really, but I've got it on 6. and we'll give it a go from there. Let's see what it sounds like.
Testing 1 2 3 4 using their static microphone. Testing 1 2 A B C D. Test complete.
Well, that's a small test on 4 handheld microphones on the FM mode. Now, I know it's very, very subjective. It's down to individual hearing, your voice, the radio you use. Everyone's got their own views on how it should sound. Yes, there is some fine tuning you can do. Some of those were maybe a little bit too strong. You can turn the amplification down. These were just straight out the packet, plug them in as such and use them. So there we go. That's an FM test of the 4 radios. Also take into account the transmitter and receiver were fairly close together, transmitting through a dummy load, and the recording's done through an SDR receiver. In reality, 2 radios further apart using proper antennas, I think the audio quality would actually even be improved. To me, I love the sharpshooter, but best audio, the static. And the sharpshooter comes in a really funky package. So again, thank you very much for watching. This has been Enthusiastic Steve saying 73s.